guys, welcome to another episode of Blurb Survival Guide. I am your co-host Jeremy.
I'm Jay Williams.
And this week we are discussing one of our favorite topics, Saturday morning cartoons.
Saturday morning lineup!
Oh my god, I can't remember a time when like Saturday morning, I'll wake up, I have this big ass bowl of cereal, 8 a.m., and I'm just watching. I'm a Nickelodeon boy myself, so it'd be SpongeBob, Fairly Odd Parents, Rugrats, of all things. You name it. What about you, Jay? What you watch every Saturday?
Man, I have a distinct memory of going over to my best friend's house, and he didn't have cable. And so he didn't get Cartoon Network or Nickelodeon or the Disney Saturday morning lineups.
That's unfortunate.
So, but I was introduced to the Kids WB morning lineup.
Okay.
Which was, if people don't remember, an assortment of cartoons that really kind of came from all over. Like, came from Cartoon Network, because you did have, like, Scooby-Doo. I guess because it was Warner Brothers, it had some cartoons that came from Cartoon Network and some other channels.
Right.
But I also got, like, Pokemon original, like, Indigo League. I got a whole bunch of Yu-Gi-Oh! And then I got a bunch of really interesting cartoons that were originally produced on the WB network.
Yeah. I mean, no, that's a great transition. I mean, literally, those cartoons are what essentially molded us into the human beings that we are today. Like you had, you remember telling me before we even started, X-Men Evolution.
Exactly.
Like those TV shows, you got that. I mean, you had Marvel on every facet of every channel, and we didn't even know it.
I mean, it's formative. I think in the theme of surviving, we literally looked forward to those Saturday morning cartoons to get through the school week. You know, like it was like it's the only thing that's going to get me up early in the morning that isn't school.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean that's literally the one time throughout the entire week that I willingly wake up at a decent hour.
Exactly.
And it's on a Saturday. I remember growing up too with my mom and my sister. Like we would just wake up. Or before my sister was born, it was just me and my mom. We would watch all day Saturday, start from like 8 a.m. to I was like 5 years old, so 8 p.m. That's a long day in my opinion. But we're watching Disney VHS tapes. For all you kids out there, a VHS tape is an old school Netflix. But we would watch those would be the things we watch. I would watch a Goofy movie on repeat.
I
had
if only for the soundtrack.
Oh, right? Definitely for the soundtrack. But I mean, definitely Goofy is one of my favorite characters. Like it's essentially, Goofy movie is essentially the first black Disney film, in my opinion. You got a single father taking care of his son who just wants to go and have a vacation with him.
It was largely led by a black animator.
Oh yeah,
Bruce W. Smith.
Oh yeah, I mean, and Bruce W. Smith is a large contributor to a lot of the shows that we grew up watching, including
The Emperor's New Groove,
Proud Family,
Who Framed Roger Rabbit,
who else?
Space Jam.
Space Jam.
He was the animation director on Space Jam. God, so wow. I mean, to think that our entire childhood largely may have been influenced by him and his vision for what black youth were going to be exposed for.
I mean, you can't even. Essentially, this man was your childhood. You would wake up to see Bruce W. Smith's work in Static Shock, like you said, Proud Family, Space Jam. I mean, that's literally Warner Brothers in a nutshell.
He was a writer for 2 episodes on Thundercats. That's a fun fact.
Hey-o! Thundercats, ho! But no, it's like I said, like just backtracking, growing up watching these movies and TV shows. They send me on a nostalgic loop every time I just watch them nowadays.
No doubt.
And I mean, I can rewatch all of them and still act like it's the first time I've seen it.
I mean, the things about these cartoons, and especially going back in and watching, is you kind of get the opportunity to relearn lessons that were solidified in your youth that you may have forgot. Even
even learn new lessons that you didn't even catch as a child.
Exactly.
I mean, you hear jokes nowadays. I would go back and watch some of these TV shows and movies, and I can't think of one right now, but like I remember watching it as a kid, and like it go completely over my head. Watching it again as an adult, and it's just like,
I mean, Shrek is the perfect example.
Ooh, they got a lot of
subliminal comedic moments that were definitely over kids' heads, but 100% there for the parents.
I mean, like the more obvious one with Shrek would be the "Welcome to Duloc" song, where it's like keep your feet off the grass, shine your shoes, wipe your face. But also, I mean, one thing, a lot of things people didn't get until they hit puberty.
The compensation joke.
Yeah, the compensation joke. But then you also got King Farquaad. His name was a joke within the movie.
Yes.
A lot of people don't realize King Farquaad. Say Farquaad slow enough. Farquaad, F-Wad. The man was King F-Wad, and I mean, his attitude definitely reflected in the movie.
And so, like, when they made the joke for the compensation joke, I 100% remember thinking, oh, it's about his height, right? Like, it's 100% about
Oh, definitely. It was like, I think he's
height.
compensating for being a short man. It was like, no, he compensating for being a short man.
For being a
short man.
For not being a total, not having the total package.
Yeah, I definitely felt like Donkey, because you remember Donkey, it was about 2 or 3 scenes later that he realized, he was like, oh, compensating. It just took us a little bit longer to realize it.
You know, a few years. Yeah, it's not a bad thing.
I mean, what? It came out 2001 was the first Shrek movie? Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I was 7. 6 or 7? Yeah.
2001.
Never forget.
Never forget.
But what else? What else is going on in the world? Speaking of Space Jam and Bruce W. Smith, the new Space Jam movie, we've seen a couple of stills and new images with LeBron James. Recently read an article. LeBron is like he said that he's taking this acting seriously.
I mean, he's been taking weekends off from the team in order to
from
practice.
the Lakers to go practice and to go act. He said, I mean, there's an article where it literally says, "I'm in a movie where I play LeBron James."
Right.
Like he's not taking it as, oh, it's a basketball movie. I'm just going to be a
basketball player.
Well, more of a condensed version of myself. I want to actually act this out. I want to be, who is LeBron if LeBron was an animated character? Who is LeBron if he was...
You think he's gonna be animated any?
No, I don't think it's gonna be animated. I think it's still gonna stay along the lines of like the original Space Jam, where it's like you got the one live action player, and all the Animaniacs, all the animated
Looney Tunes,
all the Looney Tunes. But he's saying it as in, I'm not gonna be like, you see a lot of these movies with athletes or like things, and they didn't grow up saying, hey, I wanted to be an actor. They grew up saying, hey, I want to be a basketball player. Hey, I want to be a football player. He's taking it along the lines of, hey, even though I'm a basketball player, I'm taking this as, hey, I'm an actor who's playing a famous basketball player. I just so happen to be that basketball player. And so it kind of, it makes me happy that he's taking this a little bit seriously, because, I mean, I love the original Space Jam.
Who doesn't?
Michael Jordan.
If you don't, you're wrong.
I mean, exactly. But Michael Jordan, he treated it as, I'm a retired basketball player who plays baseball now that's about to play basketball again. That's how he took it. If you go back and rewatch it.
I mean, it's not so much him acting, it's him filling the role of being Michael Jordan.
I mean, this is the height of Michael Jordan. I mean, like I said, he just, and it's literally in the in-between time where he just retired from basketball initially from the, was it the Wizards?
The Bulls.
Okay, so yeah, he did retire from the Bulls. I'm not a big athlete guy, so I'm sorry. But he did retire from the Bulls. He was playing for the Birmingham Barons, which, I mean...
Then he came back and played for the Bulls, and then he retired again, and then came back to play for the Wizards.
There you go. But, I mean, like I said, it was an in-between time of him first retiring from the Bulls to playing baseball that we had the Space Jam movie. Because it was essentially... It was almost like a way... It was almost like telling your kids, hey, your favorite basketball player just left basketball forever.
Yeah.
That was basically Warner Brothers' his way of saying
it was 100% a tragedy amongst the culture, you know?
Yeah, but then like it was a good thing that he did come back, because I mean he came back. He did come back. People were happy,
and I think he won a few more championships after that as well.
Oh, definitely. Like, I mean, they the reason like the term GOAT exists because of Michael Jordan.
yeah, that shaped the culture, I guess, didn't it?
Oh, definitely.
Bruce W. Smith is like one of the single most influential individuals in our lifetime.
Definitely one of the greatest animators of Saturday morning cartoons.
I mean, waking up and watching The Proud Family on a weekly basis was definitely a thing when we were kids. You know?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Papa Proud, y'all.
Bobby Proud. You know that was Cedric the Entertainer?
No, I did not.
Yeah.
An Alabama native?
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of recently found that out because it's like for the new Proud Family that's coming out on Disney Plus. It said all the cast members were coming back. Like it said all the original cast members, and it was like, oh yeah, cool. And Bobby Proud showed up, and it was like because he's going to be more of a '90s
the entertainer.
Yeah, Cedric the Entertainer is Bobby Proud,
and he's going to be stuck in the '90s. He's probably going to be dated.
Yeah, it's still going to be dated because he was dated in the original with the '70s and '80s funk.
Yep.
But he's coming back, and now it's going to be the '90s
Bobby
R&B.
Proud is an artist, though.
He is an artist. He gets to do what he wants to do, and I appreciate Bobby Proud and his dysfunctional self.
Without a doubt. I mean, the entertainment value that is brought to us, as well as the what's the word that I'm looking for? The merit that it brings to your life and the lessons learned. I think that are so relevant even today, especially in the Proud Family.
Oh yeah, I mean, it definitely has the different tropes. I mean, and it definitely has a positive influence on the black community as well, with it being a fully functioned black family.
Yep.
You have the mother and father. You have the father who's an entrepreneur.
Grandma living in the house.
Grandma lives in the house. You got mom who's a veterinarian who essentially she's going to have her own practice in the new series.
So she's going to be a leading lady.
Yeah.
Shout out to the women. It is Women's History Month.
It is Women's History Month, and that's awesome. I'm very happy that they're making it very progressive. But other than Proud Family, what are your top 5 favorite Saturday morning cartoons? It doesn't have to be black specifically, just your top 5 favorite.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So top 5 favorite Saturday morning cartoons have to be Yu-Gi-Oh! Because I'm a weeb. Pokemon because I'm a weeb.
2 times for the weeb community.
2 times for the weeb community. Cartoon Network, I'm thinking along the lines of Kids Next Door.
Oh,
Kids Next Door Saturday morning cartoon. I'm sorry, that took way too long for me to remember. Considering we watched it the other week, so that's kind of the bad part of it.
Come on, Jay.
So that's 3. 4th favorite, and this is honestly in no particular order. Static Shock.
Okay.
Because that was a kids WB cartoon, and might be my number 2 favorite over Pokemon, honestly. And then I think I got to round it out with X-Men, because that's a classic and truly introduced me to the Marvel Universe in a way that I'd never been introduced to.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it was gritty, but also action packed, and it
had the love triangle between Wolverine, Jean Grey, and Cyclops.
Yeah.
I mean, that was important, and for some reason that sticks out in my brain because it was some added piece of drama and added level of drama in a cartoon. Mind you, you didn't get a lot of drama in cartoons. It was very task based. A lot of the things all right, this is the mission, accomplish the mission in the episode. But sometimes they managed to plug some of that tension in.
Hey, why are we doing this mission? Hey, why is he coming on this mission with me? I don't want him on the mission. No, I don't want her on the mission either. And this is where's this drama?
And even more subtle ways, because it'll cut to a scene where Wolverine is watching Jean from across the way, and Cyclops sees Wolverine watching Jean, and
it's ooh,
and you're like, oh, that's sus. That's some sus behavior.
No, I got you. That's yeah.
And then obviously watching Pokemon. I mean, I'm playing Pokemon Go right now, and that definitely that wouldn't have happened without watching the kids WB cartoons.
So you say you got to be the very best, like no one ever was.
To catch them is my real test, and train them is my cause. Pokemon. Gotta catch them all.
That's our destiny.
It's you and me.
You teach me, I teach you.
Pokemon. Gotta catch them all. Trademarked by.
Sponsor us, Pokemon.
Trademarked by Sony.
All right, well, nice. I do like that list. I appreciate that list. If I had to bounce off you, I would say my top 5 would definitely be, and this is in no particular order, and this is going across all cartoon factions. I would say the OG Teen Titans.
Okay.
2003, 2006.
Top tier.
Kids Next Door, definitely.
Great cartoon.
Yeah. The Weekenders.
Okay. On
Toon Disney. It was something about, it was just I wasn't.
They knew how to treat a weekend, man.
They did, and it just resonated with my little preteen brain. It was like, I want to live on Venice Beach and just go out on weekends, go to the arcade, or just chill at Venice Beach.
Which is kind of what we do now. I mean,
yeah, but we're adults.
In Alabama.
I wanted to do that as a teenager.
Those kids had a lot of freedom.
Yeah. SpongeBob SquarePants. That was Jay knows me, but if y'all know me, I'd love me some SpongeBob. I just watched that new movie. The newest one, Sponge on the Run.
Okay.
It had us up and down. We'll talk about it in a minute, but it had us up and down. See, and this is
rounding it out with drum roll, please.
Jimmy Neutron, Boy Genius.
Oh, the movie came before the show.
The movie did come before the show, and that show was something else.
If you people don't remember, the movie came before the show. There was a very short. It was a Nickelodeon short.
It was those Nickelodeon shorts first before the movie.
Yep.
And I guess the shorts became so popular among kids that they did have the movie. And the movie was so popular, it was like, hey,
led to
we're gonna have Jimmy Neutron. The event. No, it was the event. Well, the movie was called Jimmy Neutron, Boy Genius.
Yep.
And then the TV show was called The Adventures of Jimmy Neutron,
Boy Genius.
Yes.
Yep.
And then it led to one of the greatest crossovers of all time, the Jimmy Timmy Power Hour, volumes 1, 2, and 3.
Came out on a Friday night.
Those were, I swear, when you would see that stage pop up, that 3D animated stage pop up, but you see a 2D radio pop out of nowhere and the Fairly Odd Parents theme song came on, I was lit and I sat down and watched it through and through.
I remember watching that episode series in my basement with my friends, having pizza and soda and just fully enjoying life. I think probably more so than I have ever again.
Oh my God.
Just because, I mean, the merging of your two favorite cartoons, like Timmy Turner and the Fairly Odd Parents and Jimmy Neutron in the same platform. I mean, it was people be like, "Oh, no greater crossover has ever been attempted." That's man, because for one thing, you would have never expected to see Nickelodeon did it first. Let me tell you,
they were, but you would have never expected to see Jimmy Neutron in 2D animation, Fairly Odd Parents form.
Nope.
Nor would you have been able to see Timmy Turner in Jimmy Neutron 3D
Timmy
animation, or Cosmo and Wanda, like that. It blew my mind.
It blew your mind, and it prepared you for what they were going to do
for just future in animation.
Truly. Did the Fairly Odd Parents come out before Jimmy Neutron?
Yes.
So it makes sense that it was 2D versus 3D, right?
To a degree.
Or is that just also because of the...
They were just both...
Was that a stylistic choice?
It was more of a stylistic choice. But I mean, Fairly Odd Parents... Well, the three most successful shows on Nickelodeon in that time were Fairly Odd Parents, Adventures of Jimmy Neutron, and SpongeBob. Okay. All three of them being... SpongeBob still being the longest running. Because, I mean, it's still going.
Yep.
I don't know why it's still going, but it's still going.
You know,
Timmy Fairly Odd Parents,
Dan Hartman and
Butch Hartman.
Butch Hartman.
Yeah.
You know, like those are the two like big creators at Nickelodeon.
But the thing is, Butch Hartman doesn't work, and that's why Fairly Odd Parents ended, because Butch Hartman left Nickelodeon.
Right. Makes sense.
But my thing is, like, how I understand Steven Hillenburg, he did pass away. Mm-hmm. Rest in peace. They could have stopped it at any time. He initially wanted SpongeBob to end in 2005 with the movie, the very first movie.
I didn't know that.
That's when SpongeBob...
I bet a lot of people don't know that.
That's the original run of SpongeBob was supposed to be from May of 1999.
He gets the managership, right? Like
exactly.
And they never do they ever pick back up on that?
No, the second Krusty Krab location after the first movie is never heard of or spoken of again.
That's problematic, don't you think?
It's definitely not continuity.
I mean, and arguably SpongeBob is episodic and not like continuous largely.
Right, but that's the thing. Like, it makes sense that the end of that movie has him getting the managerial position.
Ain't that the difference between Japanese cartoons and American cartoons?
Oh, definitely. That's the biggest difference. It's like you can still have episodic. I mean, that's why they're called fillers in anime. Because that's where the episodic form comes from.
Right.
But it still has...
But those movies, too.
But the movies co-align with the TV show, co-align with the overall story that the manga, the anime, all of them create.
Yep.
They all work together. Even if the anime hadn't caught up to the manga, or if the manga hadn't caught up to the anime yet,
Right.
they work together to make them line up with each other.
Exactly. Unlike
Whereas America, you have some TV shows that do that, but it's because they are strongly based off of
episodic
anime. They're based off of anime, like Steven Universe. There's a new show called Craig of the Creek.
No way.
Yeah, there's still Steven Universe was definitely, it started off as episodic because I mean, no one knew what to expect.
Right.
But by the time you finish it on like season 4 or season 5 is actually called Steven Universe Future. That's actually an epilogue to the entire show that was Steven Universe, because it was all one big story. Steven Universe Future was a limited series that was saying, hey, what happened after Steven saved the world?
What?
Yeah.
Mind blown.
Yeah. So, I mean, you have some of those American TV shows, but most of them are just truly episodic. We're just going to make all these shows until, hey, we either just got canceled
or we can't come up with anything.
Yeah, and so we just create a series finale, quote unquote, where it's just like a random episode that just kills it off and ends.
Yeah.
One rarity that I would say that is truly American would probably be the regular show.
True.
Where it started off as just episodic.
It seemed episodic, but in the big picture,
as it progressed, that and Adventure Time, those two shows, they both started off very episodic. You didn't know what was happening. It was just an adventure a week. But then it ended up with Adventure Time being literally this epic saga.
As well as regular show.
Yeah, both of them. I mean, you have the battle with Pops and Negative Pops.
Exactly.
On regular show, and then you had the big war with Adventure Time, with everybody coming together. But honestly, to wrap things up, we just gotta let you know that like these Saturday morning cartoons that led to all the cartoons that we watched and that we discussed, they are heavily influenced by, I would say, Bruce Smith. He created your childhood, guys. Essentially, your childhood was created by Bruce Smith. If you didn't watch Saturday morning cartoons, I'm
Phil
sorry.
Lamar was also heavily influenced.
You got Phil Lamar, you had Bruce W. Smith,
Floyd Dorman. I mean, creating the Disney shows, Sonia Carey, and even LaShawn Thomas.
What we're going to do now is we're going to take a quick little break. You're going to hear a small ad thanks to Anchor, and we will be right back with the weekly blurb. We'll see you right back in a minute, guys. Hey guys, it's Jeremy here to talk to you about Anchor, the free podcast tool that you all need. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. First of all, like I said, it's free. There are creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your computer or your phone. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership, and it's everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. So guys, go ahead and download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm on your computer to get started.
Welcome back, everybody, to this week's edition of the Weekly Blurb.
This just in on the Weekly Blurb.
Oh, wait. Oh, you're so clever.
I know, I try to be.
Well, this week, on my part of the Weekly Blurb, I have been thinking a lot about how we've been in quarantine for a year.
Has it really been a full year?
Dude, we celebrated the first case of COVID in Alabama on March the 12th. The CDC declared the COVID-19 a global pandemic this week last year. And we also are in the year anniversary of the death of Breonna Taylor. So
And all that happened in the course of 3 days.
Yeah.
That's the harsh truth about all that.
I mean, it's been a heck of a year. Personally, I lost my grandma this year. We moved. My family moved this year. And I can't tell you that without like my friends, I would not have survived this year. And so I just want to say thank you for being my friend. And what that means to me is that without you, I would not have been able to accomplish what I've accomplished this year. But also thinking about loss a lot. You know, this year, and with the death of Breonna Taylor, I mean, I can't believe that her family still hasn't seen justice, first of all. And second of all, that there are still people that will fight to defend the police and their actions.
Yeah, it really doesn't make sense. And I mean,
it's a complete disconnect from like humanity, in my opinion, because you see they say that an individual may be fearing for their life, but Breonna Taylor was killed in her sleep.
Yeah, and that's still
she was killed in her sleep in her bed.
That's a big ticker. It's just like, that's the thing. She was asleep, and it's been blatantly said. It's been proven time and time again that she was not conscious.
Exactly.
The guy was only protecting his household. That's the only reason he had weapons out.
No doubt. He was. People will talk about how he was a drug dealer, and he was, going about like an illicit lifestyle. And
that's a lot of things I hate about the stigma with black men in particular, but just black people in general, is that even though we may do something good or we may be trying to protect something.
Breonna Taylor was a nurse.
That's what I'm saying. She was a nurse. I mean, boyfriend may have had a past,
right?
But he was trying to protect the household.
He was trying to make money for his family.
And I mean, it's not even the tip of the iceberg. But you've had things along the lines of like news lines, newspapers saying, say if it was, oh my God, it was like local hero Jerry Maguire, saves a cat from a tree,
right?
But say I did it, and it's just like former drug lord,
right?
Finds cat in tree,
exactly.
Takes out of tree,
exactly.
It's like,
I mean, like,
why am I a former drug lord? Why can I be? And no, I have not sold drugs before ever.
But like, why? Why are you painted in the negative light where the likely white individual would be painted in a much more positive light in the media? And the media has shaped and molded a lot of this case,
right?
But that's my weekly blurb, just because I've been thinking about that, and I am happy to hear that they're allowing the jury to have the additional charge of third-degree murder, even though the man should be charged with first-degree murder. That's just my personal opinion. I'm not a lawyer by any stretch of the imagination. Jeremy?
Well, we do appreciate that. I know that was some harsh stuff to hear, but sometimes things like that need to be heard. On a lighter note of our weekly blurb, we have a couple of movies that are coming out this week, a couple of TV shows, a couple that I'm very in particular watching this week. We have the Zack Snyder cut of the Justice League coming out Thursday night. 4 hours of my time will be going toward that movie. I will be watching it multiple times. We do have that vacation.
I think that's going to be a topic of conversation probably for next week.
Definitely.
And we're just going to break that out.
Oh, definitely. And I mean,
dissect it.
You see, my roommate and I, like everybody in this room right now, we're about to go on vacation in a couple of weeks. We were talking about watching it on the way there.
Oh my gosh! I mean, it's a 15-hour car ride.
We have the time. But yeah, so that's a big one. I'm very excited for it.
We're gonna have a good time.
It gets the justice that it deserves. Wink, wink.
I mean, God willing, right?
Well, I have seen a bunch of early reviews of it. Okay. Or not seen reviews of it, but I mean, I've read articles on early reviews, and I mean, people are already saying it's 1,000 times
leagues better.
Literally, caught on there.
Just to add to your justice pun.
But we have that. We also have on Disney Plus Falcon and Winter Soldier. First episode premieres this week as well.
It's going to be a week by week, isn't it?
It is a week by week. It's going to be around 8 episodes, about an hour each.
They really are about to unroll this Marvel phase.
Oh
7.
Yeah, we're in phase 4, but it's still like I've actually seen a calendar timeline of the movies and TV shows for 2021 alone.
Are we on track?
We're definitely on track, and the thing is, with the behind the scenes, it's called Marvel Assembled on Disney Plus.
I've seen that. What is that?
It's essentially a behind the scenes look of each of the shows and like the shows and movies that are coming out this year in particular.
Right.
So WandaVision just ended 2 weeks ago. This past Friday, the first episode of Marvel Assembled was the behind the scenes of WandaVision.
I need to watch that.
Exactly. I haven't seen it yet. I plan on watching it probably as soon as we get off this podcast. But also along the lines of the schedule for Marvel for Phase 4, they are having one MCU product or something coming out each Friday. Started back when WandaVision started, the entire year.
They're 2021 starting.
2021 starting from when WandaVision started back in January.
What?
Literally each week's going to be a new episode. After that series finishes for the season, it's going to be Marvel Assembled. But then we also have when the movies come out. The week after, it's also going to be a Marvel Assembled. So you have Shang-Chi and the Temple of Destiny, I think it's the name of the movie, but the Shang-Chi movie. The week after that is going to be a Shang-Chi behind the scenes. We got the Loki series coming out in June. You're going to see those Loki series. Wow. Yeah, it's going to be about 5 or 6 episodes. And then after that, it's going to be a behind the scenes look of that.
They did that, didn't they?
Yeah, and then you have, I think, same thing for Black Widow. And that comes out in May.
So we got a whole year.
We have a whole year of Marvel. They said Kevin Feige said, I apologize. We did not have Marvel for 2020. Y'all are going to get all of the Marvel for 2021.
And I mean, what's really cool for it to correspond with is it's like 100-year anniversary of Disney World. I think is this year. 150.
No, it's 50.
50-year
anniversary.
It's
a 50-year anniversary for Disney World.
Yes.
And yeah, I plan for that next year birthday because that starts in.
It starts in December.
No, it starts in summer.
Summer.
Yeah, it starts in summer and it goes all the way through next year.
Man,
it goes all the way to December of 2022.
It's gonna be crazy busy.
If we.
I think we could get it there.
Well, I mean, yeah, if we reserve next year,
right.
It should be perfect. But yeah, that's essentially my weekly blurb as well. We do appreciate you guys for listening to our podcast this week. It may have sounded like it got a little off track, but we tried to ring it on in there for you. Remember to follow us on
Instagram.
Follow,
share.
Yes, please. And tell all your friends about our podcast. We need the money for more microphones. We're working with one. But follow us on Instagram at Blurred Survival Guide. We are on Twitter at Blurred Guide. All one word. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or you just want to say, hey.
Snide remarks.
Yeah, snide remarks as well. We're tough. We can come. We will find you too. But you can email us at blurredsurvivalguide@gmail.com. Other than that, any last words?
Keep surviving, everybody.
Keep surviving, everybody. Woo!